always been very happy with their service.
For years, this Sioux City mother, who doesn't feel comfortable using her name or real voice, sent her children to Beyond the Bell.
My husband called a couple days prior just to make sure everything was set up. There was no space for them.
This parent isn't alone. Many took to social media to say they received an email the afternoon before the start of school to say their youngsters were put on a wait list.
The biggest thing is just, the lack of communication.
We understand the frustrations.
Jenna Andrews is program director for Beyond the Bell, who says the program, like other businesses across the country, feels the pinch of short staffing.
What did they call it? The Great Resignation that happened was that last year, we just saw kind of a wave where the workforce is really depleting.
Andrews says Beyond the Bell increased wages and incentives to try to attract staff for 25 different locations in Sioux City and South Sioux City for before and after school care.
But it still is just really tough to get people in here.
Andrews disclosed Beyond the Bell usually employs between 75 and 80 part-time workers. They need about a third more to cover a total of 1,200 students. That means a few hundred ended up on a waiting list.
We're still trying to pull people in, do those interviews, but then we have to take into account if they're new, we have to train them before we can just put them out at the sites and things like that. So that takes a little bit of time.
To address the delay in updating parents, Andrews points to a new online enrollment process as another problem.
It has given us a few extra hiccups to have to work around. We've already reached out to the software company to say, hey, these emails aren't firing off like they're supposed to be. And we're having all these parents say that they're not getting the notifications, and it's really backing things up for us.
The mother who talked to Siouxland Public Media did find a backup, but worries about others not as lucky.
We had to scramble, and we came up with a plan B. There's a lot of people who they don't have that option, and we rely on Beyond the Bell.
Jenna Andrews says besides reducing capacity at a majority of locations, Beyond the Bell suspended services for a few schools until they hire and train more employees.
And just to reiterate, we really are trying our hardest.
For Siouxland Public Media News, I'm Sheila Brummer.